Hello everyone. In this video we'll see the pattern printing problems. Pattern printing problems are most frequently asked interview question in the technical interviews in every companies. So in this video we'll learn how to print patterns like this in the screen, like horizontal, vertical, squares, and these kind of triangles and flip triangles, and this kind of mountain structures and flipped it, and this kind of pyramids, everything in this video. Okay, in this one I'm using a star. You can expect the numbers on place of these stars or any other characters in this. So let me move to the IDE. Here the coding environment is C++, and I'm using Min compiler C++14, and I have some sample code snippet here just for entering the user input and retrieving it. Okay, just let me right click this and check this compiler working fine or not. Yes, it's working. And now our problem statement starts like star. We have to just print a star. Here what I'm doing is, in place of C out, I'm giving as star. That's it. That's enough. Just right click and run. Here one star is success. Okay, now the next thing is, here we have horizontal set of stars. We have for each number given, we have to type those many stars. When I give 5, you have to print 5 stars. And how to do that is, we can just declare a number here, count, it's equal to 10, and for repeating this printing of these stars, you have to use a looping statement. I'm going to choose a for loop, and the data type is int, and I'm keeping the iterator as I itself and the count as count itself, because I've already declared that it count in the line number 10. So then I'm just cutting and pasting that cout statement here so that I can get a looping of this line number 13. So just right click and run. Here it will print all 10 stars. Okay, now let me move to the third one. Here we have vertical set of stars. After printing one star, consider this as line number 1, and this is line number 2, this is 3, 4, and 5. Likewise, after printing one star, we come to the next line. After printing this star 2, we come to here, and this comes to line number 4, and this after printing line number 5. For that, I have to, once I print this star, I have to end this line and come to the next. So I'm giving endl. Right click and run the code. Yeah, we got this vertical set of stars. Likewise. Okay, let me move on to the third one. Third one is like a square shape. You can consider this as square or rectangle. It's like a grid system. You can consider this screen, this highlighter screen, as a grid. For example, here you have this grid. From here you will get the grid. Each of this stands for one line, and in each of these cells you have to print this star here. Likewise, I can get the square system. So what I'm doing is, I have a row and column. Let me just come out of this toolbar. I have this columns like column 1, column 2, and column 3. Here I have row 1, row 2, and row 3, and row 4. In each of the row I have to print a same number. Here I'm considering as a square, so row and column are same. I'm just making it as a number only as count. I have this count number already declared in the program. So what I'm doing is, internally, when you just write this as a horizontal or vertical, you have used one for loop for this one entire row or this entire column. You just use one for loop, but you have to print these numbers internally. So what you have to do is, you have to use two for loops prior making these stars and all to work fine. So what I'm doing is, I'm making one more star, so for loop. Here also I'm making as int, and iterated I'm giving as j, and since it is a square, the row and column are same. I'm giving the same count, and I'm pasting this cout here. After printing one star, which means at the first line I print the star, so I no need to come out of the next line. I can come to advances to the next position, that's the nearby, which means the right side, not the bottom side. So my cursor will go here, not this one. Let me just erase this. My cursor will go here. After printing here it will go. After this, here it will go. So I have to give just a cout statement, and I automatically do this j automatically do that. So after printing those many lines, I have to come to the next line, which means let me just erase this single as a tool. After printing this star, I have to come to next line. That's here it comes out of the loop, and it advances to the next row, that which means that job is done by the I. So in order to come to the next advances to from here to next one, I have to give cout endl. Okay, that's it. Okay, just let me run this program. Here I got that 10 star system. It may not look like rectangle or square, it may not look like square, but it is somewhat rectangle. You can count these characters as here it's 5 5, and it's a 5 5 rows. Okay, now we achieve this kind of a square, and there's using C++. Next we move to the triangles. Here we have a triangle. This is a right angle to triangle. A right angle means it's from like this structure you will get. This is comes at the next left side, and this triangle comes as right side. This is a triangle pattern you have to print. Let me differentiate this colors. Here this green color stands for, here at least some character we have, and when we have this white color we don't have anything here. So here also we don't have, nothing is having, we don't have any job to do with these kind of squares, so we just ignore them. Okay, first we'll see this, how this left side triangle works, and then we'll move to this right side triangle. Okay, now let me explain this one, how this triangle we can print. You can just check this. First it starts at 1 star, and next line it's 2 star, next line it's 3 star, and next line it's 4 star. It's gradually increasing. So in the line numbers also gradually increasing, like 1 2 and 3 and 4. This is a line number, and this is a star. How this line number we know this already. we have a iterated I which advances to the next rows, but we have stars here, but these two numbers are same. So the ideology is, this is I and this is J. We can use the same numbers. So what I'm doing is, I'm just giving this as I, which is equal to I, not less than I. So just right click and run the code. Here we achieve this triangle. Just one change will give you here. We have this extra space. We no need to care about the space. Here our problem statement states only like we should have this triangle. Whatever I marked as white cells, it does not matter at all. We just need to print this triangle. Now this is left hand side and this is right hand side. Okay, in this triangle we have something a little bit different. We have like something is there on this. We can't just move to the first star from here to here. Here we should have something. At least here we should have space or some other character. That's the reason this is a white cell and this is a green cell. We can just make it as space and then print this star. Here in this example you can see there are 3 space and 1 star. There 2 space and 2 stars. First is you can click space and second one is a star. In next one there are 1 space and 3 star. Is here then 0 and 4 stars. Then how do you print this? Is for space you need some kind of an arrangement. It's similar like looping. First 3, then 2, then 1. For advances to the next we already have this for loop, but in between for printing this space we need something and printing the star we need something. So space here also something, and for this star we need something. So we need 2 structures, like 2 for loops. Okay, let me copy this and let me just paste this. We need a space, so I'm giving here space. We don't need a line switching anything here. After printing all of these characters only we need spacing after printing all this line. This is literally like you can add these 2 numbers, which is nothing but the row count, the column count. 1 plus 3, 3 plus 1 is 4, 2 plus 2 4, and 1 3 4, 0 3 4. So you need at the end of this you should have 4. First it's like a flipped one. So how do I get this 3 is from the total count n, which is nothing but the column count. You can not n, even you can make it as count. I just make it as count, not. This is 4, so this is a count. So how do we have this count and I have the star. The star is nothing but that I, so I minus I. Here 4, but the I starts from 0, so I make it as a still 1. So 4 minus 0 minus 1, so it's literally gives 3. So that 3 is nothing but this space. So let me apply this formula in here in J. So what I do is count minus I minus 1, and this count I have to, here in this one I have to, this is literally like 3, so 3 to 1 it should reduce, so it should be greater than 0, and we should minus we have to reduce 3 to 1, then it will come 0. So we have to print like this, and here the already statement is correct, so we can just execute this. We already achieved this one as 1 2 3 4 already with this for loop. So I'm just right clicking and run the code. Okay, now we achieve this right side face triangle. You can see this one and here. Okay, now the task is you have to move this as this kind of mounting structure. Here you can notice this structure is same like 4 3 2 and 1 and 0, but here you can notice after this star there is a space, after the star there is a space, after the star there is a space. So you have this kind of spaces, but wherever this white cells comes, I told you to not consider at all because we don't have any job to do with this. So what I'm doing is after printing every stars there is a space, so I'm just modifying as a one character and right click and run the code. Here we got this mounting structure as a symmetric triangle, so it's literally like this kind of triangle. Okay, just a single character modifications will do these kind of things. If I just remove this space and run this will become right side face. If I just click space on this and run the code, it gives me a mountain like triangle, a symmetric triangle. Okay, let me move on to the next one. Next is a flipped triangles. The same thing what we printed on the previous, we have to just flip it, which means there's a 4 3 2 and 1. I already told you not to consider this kind of empty squares, white squares, so we no need to consider these at all. We have to just print the flipped version of the above one. Okay, now what we do is there is 4 3 2 and 1. Okay, so I just remove this first one, and the 4, how do we get is it's literally like the count minus I. We have this total number 4, it should reduce. Reduce means alternatively it should increase, right? So here we have 3 1, here 2 2 1 3, so total number of columns are 4, and each time I is iterating and advances to the next point. So we can make use of this I as this count minus I. First time nothing will be there, so it is literally 4. Next time it increases, it advances to next row, so it increased by 1, so minus 1 is 3. Then 4 minus 2, it's 2, and 4 minus 1, it's 4 minus 3 is 1. Okay, now here I guess count minus I, and it should be greater than 0, and j minus minus. We'll see what it comes. Right click, run the code. Okay, now it's working fine. You have flipped the above triangle as this one. Next is as I stated earlier, here we have space, so we should consider the space when it is in the green color. This green, I have to give some space. First it will not have anything, and incrementally it is 1 2 3, it's going. Here it is 4 5 4 3 2 1 and 0. We have the same logic, but we have to add the space in middle, in front. So what I'm doing is it's nothing but the I. Incrementally it advances to the I. First it is 0, then 1 2 3, it's nothing but the I's value. So I'm giving I, then j, should not be greater than count and j plus plus. Let me format this document. Here I have space. Okay, let me run this. Here I have I, so 0. Okay, here I the end it should start from 0 and end should at I, and then let me run this code. Okay, we achieved this one. The same thing for printing the spaces. We'll achieve this structure also. The exact inverted version of this above triangle results like this. It's just one space. For the flipped version, you can just remove that space and you can achieve that. Okay, let me move on to the next one. It's like a alternative now. It's like an odd numbers. For this one, its first is 1 star and next is 3 star and 5 star and 7 star, 9 star. These kind of odd numbers I'm retrieving in this one. So how do I do this? You have odd numbers problem. You can state as 2 plus 1, 2x plus 1. For any odd number, you can use this formula, because when it from the x will vary from 0 to infinite. Anyhow, you have this number. If you apply 1, it's 1 into 2, 2 plus 1, it's 3. Even if you apply 0, when I'm applying here 0 is 2 of 0 plus 1. When it's 2 of 1 plus 1, it's 2 of 2 plus 1, 2 of 3 plus 1. 2 of 3 means 2 into 0, 2 into 1, 2 into 2, 2 into 3 plus 1 plus 1. So I'm getting using this formula 1 3 5 7. In the x is nothing but here in programming it's I, so 2I plus 1. So those many stars will be in the x. You can use this a Pascal triangle, and so many triangles they'll ask in a numeric format. You can use that. So 1 3 5 7 9 11. The same thing, you have to print this spaces. Okay, first let me print the spaces. So there is, it's inverted, so I'm giving count minus, there is one space I minus 1, and it should be greater than 0 and j minus minus. I printed this one, and I have to print the numbers. So it should start I, should be 0 and j less than 2 into I plus 1 plus then j plus plus. Okay, now we'll see what it comes, and we if necessary any changes we can arrange that. Here I have 1 3 5 7 9. I have this triangle 1 3 5 7 and 9. Here I have those many spaces. Okay, we achieve this triangles with this formula. Okay, now we have to flip this, and how do we flip this? Is an inversion of this one. So from here it starts from 0, and here it should be greater than I and j plus plus. and instead of 0 it should start from this one, and it should be greater than 0 and I minus minus. That's it. Run the code. Okay, sorry. Format this document. First you have to print 10 stars. So what you need to do is, instead of I, you have to count minus I. It should be inverted. Okay, you can add -1 also. Run the code. Yeah, you can successfully inverted that line. The same formula you have used for flipping the above one, like these kind of things. Okay, now you have to draw the same thing. It's like the above one and the below one. Okay, you have a full structure of pyramids like this. So what you need to do is, at first line, what will be, you can keep this structure here in this one, and then first you draw the copy. First you need those many empty lines. I'm just altering this existing code. The I, there I will be the J stands for the here the empty spaces. So count minus I, then J will have a lot of spaces, so it should be greater than 0, then J minus minus. And now for this one, here it should start from 1 to 3, so 0 I, now J greater than, and J plus plus. Okay, just let me run this program. But you have to give this number as a twice, so we just run this how does it looks first, and then we'll make the necessary changes. I hope it will not come. Okay, here I have to give it as a 2 count, so here I make it as 2 star plus 1. Okay, here first of all I have to print this one and below one, so it's literally like we can duplicate it. First we'll print the upper triangle and then we'll move to the lower triangle. Format this document. Run the code. Okay, something went wrong. Let me debug this one. Here I comment this. And run the code. So the problem is with first one. Okay, here how many spaces I have to print is, whether it is working fine. Here I didn't give the indel. See out indel. Okay, and here also I'm giving this. Here run the code. Okay, we successfully achieved this pyramid structure. So thank you everyone for joining. We successfully completed the pattern printing problems, and you can solve any pattern printing problems like this. Okay, I will see you in the next video.